Hello, my name is Joe, and welcome to another edition of Joe's Super Fantabulous PC Gaming Channel, where I'm here in Planetbase, the outer space building and economy simulation where you land on various different planets and try to build viable colonies. So, I've been having a lot of fun with this title. As you can see, I have just about all the achievements except for one. I know it looks like two, but that's a little deceptive because the Express Star Colony, which you try to complete the Dark Moon Challenge in less than 70 days. If you complete that, you get the Hyper Challenger, which is complete all built-in challenges. So it's like, hey, I heard you like achievements, so we made an achievement for your achievement because, achievements. So let's go ahead and give this challenge a try. So I'm going to the Dark Moon, which is considered level suicide. And I'm trying to see whether or not I can achieve this in 70 days. To be honest, I've never actually achieved it. My colonies have been getting killed, starved to death. Meteorites blew everybody up. So let's just see if we can finish it. And if we can also finish the challenge, well, that's a bonus. But one way or another, I would like to finish the Dark Moon successfully and reach 300 colonists without my colony dying. Okay, so Planetbase Corp has now tasked you with colonizing a distant planet out of reach of all major trading routes. There's no atmosphere, short days, and long nights, and that'll make it a real challenge. Oh boy. So basically, I have to put on my evil outer space human resources hat and con a bunch of people into coming to a planet that no one wants to go to work hard. Well, I might even work them to death. Let's see. So here we are. Now this fun little place, which has, well, as much beachfront property as you could ever want, has no atmosphere. So we're not going to be using wind turbines in order to keep the colony going. So first priority is to set up solar power generation so that we'll be able to make it through the night. So we need to do this as quickly as possible. To avoid having any problems, I'm just going to recycle the ship on the spot. That way they're not running in and out of the ship trying to put this stuff together. Let's see. So once power is generated, we need someplace to store it. So we'll set up a power collector. Fortunately, they're giving us the patents for the drill bot and the constructor bot. Normally, we would purchase these from trading ships, but as traders are disabled in this challenge, well, the only way to get those types of bots is to simply have them granted to you. Okay, we're going to need oxygen generation services. So, but before we do that, we need to have water. Water is necessary to generate oxygen. I'm going to try to locate this as far as I can from the power collector so that we have room to connect various structures to the oxygen generator, since that'll be basically a hub for our colony. And let's see, we want to have an airlock out here. This will facilitate having mining facilities connected to it. So hopefully this will lend itself to, let's see, did I get it right? Oh, is it too close? I'm surprised. Okay, we can have a mine here. And I want to be able to have a mine here. But I guess this mine would be too close. We could stick one over there, though. We should be okay. I'm trying to limit the amount of time that colonists have to spend on the surface. There aren't any inherent dangers other than meteorites, I believe, on this planet, so we don't have to worry about inclement weather, lightning, or other bad stuff. Blizzards, sandstorms. There's no atmosphere to give us any trouble. But it cuts down the amount of time as people go back and forth so we can get things in and get them processed. Speaking of processing, we're going to need a processing plant so that we can process all the goodies that come in. And here, let's see, we'll connect it to the oxygen generator about here. So if need be, we could always put another airlock over here and additional mining that would just draw it straight in for processing. Let's see, additionally, we're going to need a canteen. Our colonists are going to need some food and water. All right, you know what, maybe we'll have the canteen over here. It's a high traffic area, so I hate having it too far from a generator, but it should be okay. Let's see. We're also going to need a dorm. This will be where our colonists will rest at the end of a long day. So, and I wonder if we have enough materials. We might. We just might. I'm thinking that we probably want something larger than the starter biodome because we want to be able to expand our workforce quickly, and to do that we have to have the services here to do that. So I'm going to take a risk and we'll go with a slightly, well, it's considered the large biodome. Oh, and we need manpower. So let's go ahead and put a landing pad. Now this is going to seem unusual, but like I said, the surface doesn't present us with any environmental hazards other than meteorites. I'm going to place this landing pad far away from the colony. The reason for that is that, as it mentioned in the challenge, we are far outside the trade routes, so there will be no trading ships, there's not going to be any tourists, but what there will be potentially is attacks from various different hostiles that are coming to try and take over our colony. To be honest, I want to avoid having to allocate manpower for defense. So what I'm going to do is just be cheesy and have my landing pad far away from the colony. If I see somebody getting off a ship that doesn't look like they're here to contribute to the colony's well-being, we'll just shut that airlock and let them asphyxiate on the surface. Guys, go inside if you need oxygen. What the heck, you know, the services are up, and they have to queue up for the airlocks. He's waiting for everybody to come out so he can go inside. Oh, and let's see, oh, that's the processing plant. You know what, let's not worry about that just yet. Let's go ahead and shut that down. And it's a toss-up. Well, this one's going to be more important. They're going to get dehydrated before too long. Okay, there's nothing we can do but wait at this point. Probably should have put up the canteen sooner, but oh well. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, this was streamed on Twitch, and Planetbase gets kind of intense, so I'm just going to go ahead and do one continuous stream, but for the benefit of YouTube, in post-editing, we'll go ahead and we'll carve them up into bite-sized chunks. So you may see some cuts in some weird places, but that was just when I got around to finally editing, I put things wherever I could. You know, this is a little quirk about how Planetbase works. Sometimes it just doesn't want to... Oh, you know what? The water fountain has to go over here. There we go. I was trying to figure out why it wouldn't let me. Put that in there, and we need a little entertainment so the colonists don't go nuts. Okay, power storage is low, but the sun is back. but we are running out of materials. Okay, the biodome is ready for assembly. What's taking so long here is that we have one engineer to do all the assembly. So our only robot is a carry bot. So it carries things from place to place, but it doesn't do anything else. We have 2 workers and 1 biologist. So what we're going to ask for in our landing permissions is biologists. Our colony can't function without manpower. And to have more manpower, we need more food. Now we're able to set up our biodome here to get started to ensure that everybody has something to eat. But what we're going to need, let's see, pea pad, which is starchy, that's good. And here, and a wheat pad, there we go. So this way our lone biologist only has 3 vegetable pads to be responsible for. But if we can get some more biologists, we can expand the amount of food that we generate, and as a result, be able to provide more services. Now it looks like I guessed correctly. We have just enough to put up a metal processor and a bioplastics processor. This basically consumes all our resources right here. So the mine is starting to produce ore. Here, we'll go ahead and we'll power up here. Oh, by the way, did I put any beds in here? I didn't. Ah, my poor colonists. They're going to end up sleeping on the floor someplace. There we go. We'll commit to a couple of bunk beds. Oh, see what I mean? See, this person's unhappy because they're sleeping on the floor. They're like, that effing Joe, he convinced me to come to this planet. It's like, sorry guys, I'm trying here. Power storage is critical, but here comes the sun just in time. Just as we would have gotten a power outage. So our next priority is to expand our power grid. Okay, I'm sorry you had to sleep on the floor. We have beds now, so next time you can sleep in a bed. We seem to be good on bioplastics for now. Okay, and almost topped off. Now we're going to need a bit of metal, because we're going to put up another solar panel and another power collector in order to expand the colony further. Hopefully we can get someone to come down here. My guess is that the workers talked about conditions being only decent. You know what, let's go ahead and power down this landing pad. No one's going to come down here until the conditions improve. And by improvement, I mean worker happiness. People are a little honked off that they had to sleep on the floor. Okay, they're going to get a better night's sleep now. They have some beds. Whoops, wait a minute, why is it degrading? Guys, you got food, you have entertainment, you have water, you have beds. Are you mad because you're thirsty? Drink water. Okay, as everyone's needs get met, we should see, yeah, there we go. So can't have too many colonists hungry or upset or tired. Otherwise, I guess they post bad things about you on Facebook or whatever, and then people don't come to your planet. So, whoops, here goes the power. Dang it, come on. We need the sun badly. The landing pad really costs us in terms of power consumption, but we need the additional manpower. I'm hoping that we can get some more people down here soon. Ah, finally. Some more biologists. Well, at least one. So this will help in expanding our food generation capacity. Let's see, we have 3 pads now. Let's add 3 more. Here we'll add a lettuce pad for variety. Onions. And throw in a mushroom pad. I love mushrooms. Portobellos are some of my favorites. Can we connect these? No. Okay, good. More biologists. Oh, quite a few more. Excellent. All right. With all these biologists, let's go ahead and change our priority. And we're going to say that we only want workers to land here. We need to expand our workforce so we can get more things processed, so that we can expand, well, in this case, power generation, which is a real problem. Hopefully we can get through the night. While the power is down, oxygen generation is down. So you'll see that the oxygen levels are falling throughout the colony. But as soon as the sun comes up, we get more power and we can get back to it. We need to expand our power generation capacity, but we need to have more metal processed in order to do that, which means more mining and so forth and so on. Well, here comes another ship, and we should have some workers. Excellent. Okay, as we get more people, it becomes even more important to ensure that we don't have any food-related problems. So we don't want to have any food security issues. We also want to have plenty of starch on hand. Here, let's see. For variety, we'll throw in some corn. Hopefully the amount of biologists that we have will be able to keep up with this. Although there is one more biological facility that we could probably, here, there we go. We're going to need a lab anyways. Oh, speaking of which, you know what? There was one thing I forgot to allocate space for. And that is medicinal pads. At some point, workers are going to get injured in the mines. And when that happens, we'll need to be able to make medical supplies. That's where this lab comes in handy. Our medic will be able to turn medicinal plants combined with bioplastics into medical supplies that we'll be able to treat traumatic injuries with. So, I want to make sure that we have that. Also, let's expand our mining facility. Here we go. I'm always looking for multiple connections to avoid any single points of failure wherever possible. Oh, of course, but before I do that, I should really expand our power generation. Yeah, we're going to run into trouble here during the night. We don't have a choice on the... you know what we can do is we can shut down that landing pad. Whoops. Oh, someone was already on the way down. Okay, well, at least shutting down the pad does not prevent them from landing. It just won't be a beacon to anyone else once they have landed. Good, more workers. I'm going to go ahead and skew heavy towards processing of ore into metals, because right now that's what we need the most of, to be able to generate more power and store more power. In fact, you know what? Here, I'd forgotten momentarily. We'll hold off on that construction so that we can, well, and we'll hold off on this one as well. Let me at least expand the power first. I was kind of getting ahead of myself. By the way, if you're just joining me on Twitch, hi, my name is Joe, and welcome to another edition of Joe's Super Fantabulous PC Gaming Channel, where I'm playing Planetbase. This is kind of like an outer space building and economy simulator, where you land on various different planets and you try to make viable colonies. So right now I'm doing a challenge called the Dark Colony, where Planetbase Corp has challenged me to land on a horrific little rock. It basically has more in common with the moon than any general planet because it has no atmosphere, so we can't use wind turbines here. We're dependent entirely on solar, but we're so far from the sun in the solar system that the nights are very long. So the only power we get is whatever we're able to collect during what passes for daytime here. And so I'm trying to ensure that we are able to put up enough power generation services to be able to last through the long nights. Right now we've been suffering some blackouts, usually right near the dawn, but we've been getting by. But I'm trying to expand that power generation, so we've recruited some new manpower. See, here's our power storage warning as the power drops before sunrise. If we lose power completely too soon, everyone will suffocate. I hate to do it, but let's go ahead and shut down our power processing plant. It uses up a lot of power. We have to keep things like the biodome operational, the dorm. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe we can get away with... There's nobody in there. Let's shut the dorm down, so nobody will be able to rest in there for a while. And I hate to do it to this guy, but we may kick him out of the canteen as well. Yeah, let's do that. Everyone's kicked out. The priority is keeping the oxygen generator running and keeping the crops from dying. So we're about to lose power, but as long as we don't haven't lost it for too long, we'll be able to make it until sunrise. Oh shoot, I should have shut down the mine as well. Otherwise, they'll be stuck on the surface because the airlock won't have any power to open. Oh, and that's exactly what just happened. So these workers are stuck. Well, might as well, quote-unquote, power it back up. Wait a minute, is there any power left? No, of course not. All right, so they've gone back into the mine, even though it has no power. We have to wait till sunrise. There's nothing we can do. So oxygen levels are going down throughout the colony. Okay, the sun is back. Let's start up those processing services and get everything running again. Oh, and now we're having water issues? Oh, that's right. Water generation is a lot lower than it normally would be because we were out of power. So it has to get up to speed. Without water, our crops could die. Come on, climb! And here comes the night again. And it took all that time just to get the water back up. I think we're in trouble. But we're going to go ahead and, again, it's going to be another night where we shut down all the non-essential services. We want to make the power last until morning. It really hurt the biodome not to have water at full capacity. But we really need this metal. Okay, if we're done with processing, then we can shut the processors down. Again, we're killing everything that's not absolutely essential. We're just trying to keep the biodome operational. But there goes the power again. Now, that's why we're trying to get this up. We're short just one metal unit. Okay, here comes the sun. It really hurts not having the water at full pressure. It takes a while for that water extractor to get back up every time it loses power. You know what? Here, let's see. This will get our power generation up. Do a little creative recycling. Unfortunately, we've already lost the day. But at least that solar cell will be ready for tomorrow. Just trying to figure out where would be a good spot to put this power collector. Jam it right here. We're not storing enough power. We're not generating enough power. And it's inflicting a lot of harm on our colonists. Oh, great. Now we have traumatic injuries. And we don't yet have the facilities to be able to treat people as yet. Not again. Trying to save the biodome here. The biodome really draws a lot of power and water, and the amount of water that's available is variable. It goes up and down. So after we get this power collector up so we can store more power, the next thing we're going to need is a water tank. Okay, let's go ahead and fire everything back up. We'll have enough power to sustain everything as long as the sun is up. The problem is that once it goes down. Okay, well the biology team has their work cut out for them, keeping the biodome up and running. I'm sorry so many people don't have places to sleep, so let's go ahead and expand our berthing. Oh, whoops, we need to reactivate the mine. Oh, well, but not at night. Shoot, this is difficult. We need to have more ore in order to store more power to get through the night. But this is going to hurt the biodome. You know what? Here, we'll suspend operations here in the processing plant. That should free up a lot of power. Nobody's resting at the moment, so we'll shut down the dorm. We need to get the ore mined so that it can be processed. We're just missing 2 metal units in order to put up this power collector. And then we'll be able to store much more power. Because currently we're generating power that is just wasted. Our biology staff is trying to keep up with all the damage being inflicted by the power outages on all the plant pads. This is an example of the water capacity going up and down, where would really help to have a water tank, as the water tank basically provides a buffer, so as the water table goes up and down on the planet, and it gives you a little extra in case problems arise. Well, there's nothing I can do but wait. I hated shutting that processing plant down, but didn't have any choice. Now we have plenty of ore, and we have plenty of power. Oh, there goes the power, but the sun is back. So let's go. We have power to spare now. Come on, guys. Get those last 2 units of power. Well, metal built so that we can store power. Now, we may have to go through one more night of limited power, but by tomorrow, we should be able to get everything up and running and be able to last through the night again. Okay, as soon as the sun goes down, we will shut down the mine. We want our workers to focus on processing. So workers will either work in a mine or they'll work in the processing plant. I think they'll also man radio telescopes, but or maybe that's an engineer. I forget. Just get the metal processed and out there. We just need 2 more. Oh, great, out of water. This water situation is maddening. Okay, good. There goes the power collector. When the sun rises, we should be able to charge them both. Whoops, we're going to run out of power. Alright, let's go ahead and shut down again and everything non-essential. Yeah, I know you wanted to rest, but I'm going to have to kick you out. And biodome takes precedence. I also have to keep the canteen up since that's the source of water for our colonists. We can't have them get dehydrated or going hungry. We just have to last until sunrise. And we'll get relief from the rising sun. Ooh, just in time. Okay, let's go ahead and fire everything back up. So everybody who wants to can rest. Not only that, but we can see about getting some more colonists. We have food, we have water, we have power. Now we need medical services. Oh, that's right, we were going to build a lab. Oh, we've run out of food. Now, you may be wondering, how do you run out of food when you have a biodome filled with vegetable pads? Well, the biodome's been getting kicked in the teeth by these power outages. You know, whenever the water is out, these things don't produce. Oh, so that's the next thing we need is a water tower. Let's see, where can I put this thing? Good, and we have all the materials on hand to construct the water tower now. See how the water levels just seem to go up and down? The water tower will give us a little buffer against that. Okay, here comes a new worker. Come on, we need our engineer to get to work over here. I think we still have just one engineer for the colony. Yeah, it's one hard-working person here. So we'll need to get this power collector, or water tank in this case, assembled as quickly as possible. What our engineer is doing. Oh, good, they're finally on the way. Yeah, because all the materials are staged and on site, so it's ready to go. So the water tank is now filling, and whenever it reaches its, well, the next time we have, oh, see now it's filling a little bit slower. As the water table goes up and down on the planet, this will give us a little buffer, hopefully. Now I'm hoping that our food stocks can recover. Meteorites like to remind us that they're still here. Of course, the problem is that we have more colonists coming. Let's go ahead and we'll disable receiving new colonists until we can get food back up. The biologists have basically tended to the pad so that they're all producing, and we just have to get the food generation going. All those power outages really cause problems. We have some bioplastics available, so let's go ahead and expand the canteen. Put up these meal makers. Meal makers serve two functions. Basically, I mean, their primary function, of course, is to make meals, but notice they have space inside them for 6 food items. So it also doubles as de facto storage for meat and vegetables. So that we don't have any of them laying around. They can all just be stuffed into the meal makers and be ready to go. So, well, we're trying to basically get back on balance here. See, we have starches all piled up. Out of food. Okay, whenever you hear that sound, that means that we're drawing from our water reserves as the system goes up and down in terms of water usage. Okay, I think it's time to put up that lab. And then attached to the lab will be a sick bay. This is where we'll treat the injured colonists who end up getting injured in the course of mining. Yeah, food production is just catching up. We had all those times where the power is out, the water is out, and that affects food production. So the lab here will help to supplement things by offering us the ability to make meat products. We don't have a place here for meat animals, so what the colony does is it synthesizes meat from tissue samples. Yum yum, huh? Just like Mama used to make. The lab's other purpose is to enable the creation of medical supplies. Oh, I forgot. The way that the bots are programmed, well, and the colonists in general, is that if there is a construction queued that requires supplies that's inside the colony, it will take priority over anything outside the colony. Here we go. Let's switch to the beef. To be honest, I don't know if it actually makes a difference. The tissue synthesizers can make, well, chicken, beef, or pork, supposedly from cell samples. Yum yum. And to be honest, I don't know that it actually makes a difference in terms of meal maker recipes, but just in case it does, I like to pick a variety. The chicken is the default, since everything tastes like chicken, and then beef and pork are elective. So that's why I'm electing for beef and pork, and then I can forget about the last one, which will be chicken. These are manned by biologists, the same as the biodome is, that will ensure that these meat products give our colonists a variety of things to eat so that they don't get malnutrition. Okay, at least power is doing well now. Okay, we have more starches to process into bioplastics, so put up another processor. This will help the colony get on balance with food production. And we have various workers that are injured and can't work right now. So I need to see about getting them medical help. So that's what our sick bay will be for once it's completed. And now that our food situation is handled, we can go ahead and reopen the landing pad and accept additional workers to join us. Okay, sick bay is up and pressurized. So we'll need a biobed here and someplace to store medical supplies. Currently, the medical supplies that we have are the ones we brought with us. They've been exposed on the surface and, as you can see, are deteriorating. So if we can provide storage for it, they can be brought in and taken care of. Speaking of bringing things in, we also have these spare parts which are deteriorating on the surface. We probably need to create a storage dome in order to have someplace for those to be. Okay, good, another worker, which we could definitely use at the moment. Now, although the spare parts show that they are in, well, quote-unquote, decent condition, they still are 100% effective in maintaining the solar panels. Since the solar panels have mechanical parts, those spare parts are used for maintaining them and ensuring that the colony can generate power. It's very important that we keep them going. As you can see, we only have 2 spares left, so probably the next thing we need is a factory. Okay, good. I just want to make sure that we'll be able to connect it to both locations. Looks like our biology team is having trouble keeping up with all of the food generation that we have. We need more biologists. Okay, there's more workers. So let's change our landing pad clearance and say we only want biologists at our colony right now. We need help to keep up with the food processing services that we already have. Okay, good. The bed is up. The cabinet is up. We should be having a medic come in to take care of this injured person soon. And once they are taken care of, they'll be able to go back to work. So our medic takes care of our patient, who is now all healed and ready to go back to work. Now there are other workers that have traumatic injuries, and so we're going to see more people coming in. For right now, I can probably just get away with having the one bed here, and the patients will just rotate through it as they need to. I figured another patient would be here any moment, but oh, here we go. It's another person with a traumatic injury. It's like, I feel terrible. Please help me. Now, fortunately, the cabinet is stocked with medical supplies, so a medic should be on their way. Well, we only have one medic in order to help this poor person. Oh, good. The factory is up. All right. We need spare parts. And we need them soon. We are running out. We can't allow anything to impede our power generation. So if these degrade and are not producing at their maximum, the colony can die. These spares are in poor condition, but they'll probably survive until they're needed. Probably. Okay, it looks like everybody who was injured has been put back to work. You know what we could probably do at this point is expand our mining. There we go. I had wanted to do that earlier, but I couldn't. I have to keep an eye on these. At this point, we're going to probably attract unfavorable attention. Okay, good. Biologists. If you're wondering what's going to give it away for me when we eventually have some attackers, it's their shoulder patches. The colors indicate what they are, and the attackers will have a patch that none of my colonists do. So they stick out like a sore thumb. They're very, very obvious. So it will be up to me to watch when they appear. And that's why the landing pad is so far from the airlock. It gives me time to react and see that something is amiss and be able to shut the airlock and allow them to die on the surface. It's our only defense. We have no weapons. It's a peaceful colony. Okay, it looks like our food issues are definitely taken care of. So the meal makers are either full or simply busy processing. Let's see. Make sure that everybody's needs are being taken care of. I guess we're doing okay in terms of starch. Of course, maybe that's because the biodome is having trouble producing it because of the condition of these pads. Okay, what are we still set to biologists? I'm trying to remember. Workers and biologists. No, just biologists. There we go. I was looking at these numbers here, and I thought, oh, did I leave it on workers? We have 7. We could probably use a shipload more just to guarantee that all this stuff gets cleared up. Wherever you see these wrenches indicating that these biological items need attention, we need a biologist. If we had a larger biological staff, we could also expand the lab here to produce more virtual meat, or whatever you want to call them. I think it's called virtual meat. Yeah, virtual meat is how Planetbase refers to it. Virtual meat. I have to remember that. Our one and only robot is down, so hopefully our one and only engineer, is on hand to fix the robot. We could probably use an expansion in our engineering staff. Yikes. Those meteorites. Please don't hit the base. Usually they come in clusters, so if one landed here, somewhere in here we're in danger. If they happen to bullseye something like, imagine the biodome full of biologists, that would be painful if that happened. Oh, in order to make more medical supplies. I was wondering where he was headed with those bioplastics. Okay, let's see what we have. Another biologist. I'd like to get a couple more just to be on the safe side, because I want to be able to expand our facilities, but I want to make sure the biologists can keep up with them. To expand our manpower, we have to have food. Oh, it would also probably help to have additional berthing. So because we have a dorm, that means we're able to queue up construction of a cabin. The cabin is unique in that because it offers colonists some place to really spread out, they get a nice big bed, and they get a little morale boost from staying in the cabin. So generally I try to skew towards, I'll make one dorm simply because I have to. Before you can have a cabin, you have to have a dorm. But after that, I make nothing but cabins, so that it's offsetting the unpleasant feelings that my colonists accumulate, giving them a little stress relief by enjoying a nice sleep. Trust me, I know from experience, if you don't get a good night's sleep on a regular basis, you end up cranky. And there are some people who are chronically sleep deprived that, well, generally seem upset all the time. I'm sure you know the type of person I'm talking about. So get a good night's sleep wherever possible. And so I'm trying to do the same for my colonists to ensure that if they're going to work hard for me, that they get plenty of rest as they do. Where's our one medic? Now, we've been getting away with having a single medic up to this point, but should he be an accidental casualty from a meteorite strike or, well, any other problems, especially if we get like a run on injuries, it's happened before where we'll go a long time without any injuries in the mines, and then all of a sudden 3 workers will be traumatically injured all at once. And I'm trying to get by with the minimum here with just a single bed and a single cabinet and 1 medic to make all the supplies. So we'll see how well it goes. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll speed up time since all we can do is wait at this point. Oh, you know what? I forgot something. The tissue synthesizers are going to draw more on the water supply. We're probably out of balance for water now. We'll prioritize this construction over all others. Okay, so these are biologists. We should be okay for our biology team at this point. So let's skew things back towards the workers. So that indicates that we will only accept workers to land at our landing pad according to our landing permissions. Power storage is low. Every time we add more services, we're adding a greater load to our power system here. Although, to be honest, I have a feeling part of the problem is that we're simply not storing all the power that we generate. Let's see, can I get back here? It's kind of deep, I guess. Sometimes you can get away with it, but let's see. Actually, you know what? Maybe I can do a little... Planetbase has like a little cheat function where... Oh, I guess it's not going to allow me this time. See all this, how it's disappearing under here? This is extra material on the surface that might potentially be cleared if we can get a structure constructed close enough to it. But I have to be able to connect it to an existing structure in order to do that. All right, well, maybe if we... Now, I'm not actually going to build this. I'm just basically telling Planetbase I'm thinking of building something here. Whoops, we actually lost power. Well, this is why we need to see about building that additional power collector. So what if I wanted to put something here? And see, then it starts to clear stuff out for me. And then I can recycle that. Well, it never actually got constructed in the first place. There we go. And now we can start to get closer and then use that to dig this out. It's a little cheater mechanic, but hey, Planetbase allows it. So personally, I would have been fine with some kind of mechanic that allowed you to reshape the surface in exchange for consuming resources, but it doesn't offer that. So you can kind of use this mechanic in order to carve things out and get things put where you want them. All right, so when we get the opportunity, we'll put up another power collector so that we can store more power that we're generating during the daytime. these people thirsty? We have a fountain. Someone else must be queued to go to the fountain. I don't have any bioplastic. Yeah, I see a couple of thirst icons. That's not good. Oh, and we are still pending assembly of the water extractor. How are we doing on water? Yeah, we are off balance. Our one engineer is not happy. Sorry. We have stuff we need to do. We need your help. Speaking of being not happy, we're going to, let's take a look at who gets off this ship. Okay, so more workers, that's good. So when we have the bioplastics, I'd like to go ahead and fill out this cabin. Okay, so 7. Seems like not enough colonists are able to get to the water fountain fast enough, and it takes so long for each one of them to use it that's why we're putting up a second one, so we can double the capacity of customers that we can service for water at any given time. Oh, good. And the other water extractor is up. Therefore, we shouldn't have any more water problems, at least not for a while. Okay, what day are we on? Day 14. We still only have 28 colonists. We need to get more than 10 times that. Well, it is possible. It's just not going to be easy. One thing we still don't have is a storage dome. We're trying to get bioplastics and metals processed in order to be able to make these things. Of course, right now all the bioplastics are going to go to the cabin as soon as they're available. Although, I'm thinking a storage might actually be more important than the cabin right now. So far, the colonists seem to be okay with hot racking things, although I do see some icons indicating people are tired. How tired? Let's see. Well, not that bad. Just needs a little sleep. On the plus side, it looks like the beds that are available are being used 100% of the time, so maximum efficiency. Oh, you know what? Let's shut this down. We have spares on the surface that are deteriorating that we should be using in order to maintain things rather than generating new ones. Colonists will leave items on the surface until they have someplace to put them. In this case, that's why I'm thinking about a storage dome in order to get these last set of spares off the surface, and then also to take all of these items, which are currently being, awaiting use elsewhere, and just to have some place to put them. Whoops, not a processing plant. What am I doing? Storage. There we go. Now here's the bad part. The storage facility will consume a lot of material in order to put it up. We have here, hopefully more workers. Yep, more workers. Excellent. All right, so we're at a population of 30. We need to be at a population of 300 by day 70. So I'm trying to improve the conditions here so that we can attract more workers from around the system. So far, so good. It looks like the medic is managing to keep up with... Whoa, wait a minute. I see 2 injuries. They must have both just happened back to back. Remember, I was mentioning earlier that sometimes we see injuries that will happen in groups. So we only have 1 medic to rely upon here. At least all the medical supplies are staged on site, so the medic just has to show up, pull it out of the cabinet, and use the supplies to treat someone. I have no idea where the medic is or what he's doing at the moment. Probably just wandering around. Oh no, I see a 3rd injury. This is starting to get bad. Until all these workers are treated, they're not going to work. They can't. No, we never got this put together. But it's about to be. Our engineer is setting it up so that when the new day dawns, we'll have more space to collect more power. So hopefully it won't be as difficult to get through the night. Whoa! A biologist was just killed. The lab was hit. Well, at least it was just 1 biologist. Oh, time to recruit. Yeah, it's open and exposed to space. That's not good. It's going to be like that until our engineer gets there to repair things. All right, let's change our landing instructions. We could use another biologist and another engineer, another medic. In fact, that's what we'll do is we'll make it a mix. Mostly a biologist, but hey, we could also use a medic and whoops. Let's make it a little closer, guys. There we go, 40 and 30 and 30. This poor engineer is being worked to death. Yikes. See how many biologists are in there? If the meteorite struck now and killed the medic, along with all 5 biologists, it would be devastating for the colony. We probably need to think about meteorite defenses. In order to do that, we'll need to start building semiconductors in order to be able to put up. Whoops! Uh-oh! There goes the power. But here comes the sun. I'm just hoping the power isn't off too long because of water issues and the biodomes. Come on, sun. I'm actually wringing my hands together and like, come on, sun. There we go. We're starting to align. Power is coming back. Oh, a medic. Excellent. These spares are in poor shape, but they'll have to do. I'm hoping that all these power collectors will be filled by the time the sun goes down. But I'm not sure. We're drawing so much power that they have to fight against all the power the colony is drawing and have power left over to charge with as well. I'm thinking we probably need yet more power generation. We will prioritize this construction as power is of, well, paramount importance. And all we can do is wait. Oh, Ancient Pharaoh is out there in Twitch chat and says, "Hey Joe, how are you?" Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Last week was a really busy week, so I didn't get to stream very much, so I'm trying to relax today and get started on a nice week. So I thought I'd play something nice and relaxing like Planetbase, although it can be a little stressful at times as meteorites come down and kill my colonists, or the power fails during the night, people asphyxiate and starve to death, and just every kind of way you could think of to die, my colonists have died. In fact, I unlocked it, basically what I think of as a new achievement. I was playing the other day, and a meteorite bullseyed one of my colonists on the surface. I had never seen that happen before. Okay, new medics. So let's see what our current population is. All right, so we have 3 medics, 9 biologists, 18 workers, still only 1 engineer. This engineer is overworked. Let's fix that. We need engineers. Whoops, and we are officially over in terms of oxygen generation capacity. So let's hold on accepting anybody else until we fix our oxygen problem. Oh no. Let's see, what can we shut down that's non-essential? Well, I hate to do it, but let's kill the processing plant. Let's kick everybody out of the dorm. We'll fix your problems later. We have to keep power to the biodome to ensure that the crops don't die, and to the lab, which is generating tissue for consumption. Whoops. There goes the power, but here comes the sun. Whoops. And meteorites are here to say hello and remind us they're still here, still waiting to kill us. Exodus Darkrobe is here and says, I thought you had beaten this and gotten all the achievements already. /wave. Well, I have all the achievements except one, which is the Dark Colony, which is this challenge here. And the idea is to reach 300 colonists within a period of 70 days. I'm currently on day 15. I only have 31 colonists, and I'm trying to keep everybody from dying. So it's one of those days. So no, I haven't quite beaten Planetbase yet. This is the last final challenge and the hardest. Whoops. And I've been too ambitious about expanding the base, and now we have more people than we can generate oxygen for. You know what? I hate to do this. Darn it, I want this storage facility. But if everyone suffocates, it doesn't really make any difference. Then all these things will sit on the surface until someone uses them. Alright, well, let's go ahead and fire up. This will induce them to take all the bioplastics off the surface. Also, let's see, we need oxygen generation in order to supplement what the colony already has. So we'll put up a new hub here. So, we're doing our best to make sure people don't starve, don't become dehydrated. See, this poor mopey individual is traumatically injured. It's just all kinds of problems here to keep the base running. All right, now that we have power, we can go ahead and fire these services back up. We're trying to charge up all of our power collectors in order to last through the night. Oh, we almost saw another colonist killed by a meteorite. I'd like to get that panel up, but again, our overworked engineer has to get over there. Yeah, the oxygen generator is the one that has me nervous. If we don't get to that, well, adios muchachos, you know. Here, let's see how bad things are. So we have trend analysis where we can pick different things. We're doing okay for food generation. Virtual meat, as they call it. Let's see, oxygen, not so good. In fact, I would say that's bad, especially if you're in an outer space colony. I hope that's the engineer. Is that the engineer? It's a medic. So once this last bioplastic unit is in place, the engineer will be called to assemble this. Hopefully he's not tired, eating, sleeping, doing anything else other than coming to put this together, because the whole colony could potentially suffocate. Currently our oxygen levels, they're not quite maximum. We're doing okay, but I know that we're off balance. We have more people and we can generate oxygen for just barely. So the levels are starting to go down through the colony. I just want to make sure that it doesn't get too far off. Ancient Pharaoh says, I was watching your past live stream for Red Dead Redemption 2 online earlier, and I still need to finish, and I notice you enjoy the game. Yes, Red Dead Online has been a lot of fun. To be honest, I have not played the single-player game. When I picked up Red Dead Online, it was on sale for $5, and so I thought, okay, I will give it a try for $5. Well, when you have friends to play with, it's a lot of fun. I did find that, sometimes you run into some hostile players that will kill your horse, will kill you, not for any particular gain, just because you're there, and they like to murder people. And unfortunately, there are some people that use hacks, and so if you encounter this person who seems to have a pitching arm like you wouldn't believe, throws dynamite at unlimited distances with perfect accuracy, probably a hack, in which case I'm just like, you know what, I'll F4, I'll get another session someplace else. So there's nothing we can do when we're confronted with the people that are cheating, but when I get a good session where it's all players just having fun doing their own thing, those are the ones that I really enjoy. Exodus Darkrobe says, if the game sucks, he won't stream it, and he'll comment on what stupid decisions the game makers make. Well, it's all a matter of perspective. Some of the things that bother me as pet peeves don't necessarily bother other people, but sometimes. Sometimes. What always got me was that I would watch other people's game videos, and they would like do jump cuts and cut things out, and I didn't really get a feel for how good or bad the game actually was. And so that's part of the reason why I try to do like longer streams and then post them on YouTube that way, so that people can genuinely see, that's what the game really looks like, versus, well, if you've ever seen, there are some titles, I'm trying to think of a few, that, I just thought of an example. I was trying to think of one where they give you a beautiful cinematic, and the game looks terrible by comparison. Ark Survival Evolved comes to mind. The cinematics for Ark look fantastic. The actual game, not so much. And granted, Ark is a pretty game overall, but boy, is it not optimized for anything. And on YouTube, you'll find some hilarious compilations of, what the cinematic showed that it would look like, what the game actually looks like, and then do a side-by-side. And, because at first you're like, Ark looks okay, but when you compare it to what they were advertising it would look like, you're like, hey, wait a minute, this is bait and switch. What the hell? And there are quite a few games that are like that, unfortunately. Oh, looks like our one and only engineer has not gotten to the cabin, unless that's the engineer sleeping. No, that's a medic. So our engineer needs to come and make the beds so people can sleep in the cabins. The cabins are desirable since they offer our personnel a little boost in their morale whenever they sleep in here, versus the dorms, which are still a little on the stressful side because you're kind of like crammed in there with all these other people. The old lady gamer says, should stream a little Red Dead tonight, hint hint. Oh, maybe we can. Okay, let's see, who do we have? Those look like engineers to me. Right, excellent. So our one lone engineer is no longer alone. That's why we have all these construction projects, which are pending engineering services. Okay, so we've kept everybody from suffocating, starving to death, freezing to death. Now can I finally get my storage dome? come to think of it, old lady gamer, maybe we should have streamed Red Dead rather than me streaming Planetbase. I could always save this here, and we can always switch over. And then I could continue the challenge at another time. If you're up for it. Okay, let's see. Everybody is still busy here. Oh, that's right. There's no airlock that is close to this location, so that's why they have to make such a long journey to get here. Because I chose the... oh, power storage is low again. I thought we were done with these power problems. I've got 3 power collectors and 3 solar cells, but I guess because the base keeps expanding, we keep needing more power. This is quite the parade here on the surface. Okay, the old lady gamer says, I'm eager to see what Swift Eagle looks like in ultra high def super duper graphics. Oh no, power storage is critical. Come on, son. We are still just barely lasting through the night. Well, I guess it's because we keep expanding. I need yet another power, solar cell to generate power, and probably a collector to go with it. You know what? Speaking of which, let's go ahead and recycle the bioplastics processor. At this point, it looks like what we need more of is metal. We've managed to catch up with all of the starch production, and so the bioplastics processor was just sitting there on idle, whereas we have plenty of ore to be processed right now, so it'd make much more sense in order to put up another metal processor. Oh, good grief. You know what? I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, that's a bad location. Alright, let's at least get this queued up here at the right place. Oh, is that why I chose that? Because, no, it will fit. There we go. Whoops, here comes the ship. What do we have? More engineers. You know what? I forgot. Now we have, let's see, 5 engineers, 9 biologists, 18 workers, 3 medics. Let's go skew towards workers. Somebody's injured. Why aren't the medics taking care of this guy? Oh, okay, he's already on site. I was about to say, I was like, I know I've got 3 medics. Need to get to work. All right, let me just get these guys set up here, and we can go ahead and we'll end this stream here. Matter of fact, let's see. Oh, we're coming up on an hour and a half. I let the time get away from me. the old lady gamer says, one thing about Red Dead, story mode and online. If your graphics card only has 2 gig of RAM like mine, you're limited to what graphics settings you can use. It's still an absolutely gorgeous game, and yes, I'd love to do RDO with you tonight. Oh, great. One of the quirks that the old lady gamer is mentioning that I've seen screenshots of is that if you only have 2 gigs, when you go to places on the Red Dead Online map, like Saint Denis, you'll see carriages that have, well, nobody in them because the object density is so high in Saint Denis that the video card just runs out of memory to be able to render everything, and so you see weird, weird things going on there. Buildings that are incomplete, stuff that pops in very, very late, a whole lot of swapping. It really beats up the hard drive, by the way. Oh, look at this. It's mostly bioplastics that we need in order to complete the storage dome. The metal is just about all done. Well, good. Process that bioplastic. In fact, here, let's go ahead and speed it up. I'd like to see the dome completed before we go. We'll go ahead and we'll prioritize this construction because there's one other thing that I'm not going to stay to do in this session, but I at least want to have queued so that it's all ready to go, and that will be a large canteen. Whoops, and that sound means that we are hitting the water again. These workers? Okay, good. I want to make sure that these aren't hostile visitors coming to attack the colony again. The way that this will work is that one of the things that I found in the past that's very handy, notice how the canteen is set up where we have one table and we have 3 meal makers. So the colonists can eat fairly quickly. It's a matter of having the meals available. The meal makers take a little while to process things to make a meal. So as you can see, there's a little production lag. And so that's why there's 3 meal makers to a single table, because the colonists can turn around their meals fairly quickly. Chomp, 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 get out. And even though we have 37 colonists, a single table that seats 4 is enough for everyone to be able to sit down at. Well, now that we're going to try to expand and reach 300 colonists, I'm going to kick up the efficiency here by adding a large canteen here, which will be all meal makers. These will all be recycled and turned into 4-person tables. So colonists won't have any problems with grabbing a meal from one canteen and sitting down in an adjacent one to eat it. And so that way you have many more meal makers than you do tables. And we should be able to get by with the canteen services that we have, even as the colony significantly expands. Okay, still those crummy bioplastics. Yeah, we need another processing plant. So we'll have one processing plant devoted to bioplastic production and one devoted to metal processing. I'm glad that we went with a large biodome so that it wasn't immediately obsoleted. There are other times where I tried the challenge and I tried starting with a small biodome, but you outgrow it immediately, and all I kept thinking about was when I would have a chance to recycle it. At least this way, this biodome remains useful going forward. In fact, maybe that's what I really need over here, is a large biodome. That way, the biology staff can continue to work in this area, so they'll be working in the lab on the virtual meat, working in the large biodome, and then in the very large biodome. And let's see, they can all be connected. Whoops. Well, that recycles the station there. Here, let's see if we can finagle it in someplace else. Oh, come on. You're not going to let me have it somewhere? Planetbase can be a little finicky in terms of placement of objects. It should be able to sit right there. Come on. Oh, well. If I really had to, we could, well, let's see. As soon as this gets up to maximum, recycle that and stick our station there. We just have to be able to continuously produce medical supplies. Okay, let's make sure these are not bad people. We're getting to the point where we might attract some unsavory interest. Oh, I think these are still workers. Yes, they are. Excellent. Okay, once our tissue synthesizer reaches 100%, we'll go ahead and recycle it and see about putting a workstation in its place. There we go. And the workbench will, whoops, just fit there. Oh, we've run out of spares. Well, then that means reactivate the factory. After all, we have to keep the power generation going. Oh, the storage dome has all of its supplies allocated and is ready for assembly. As soon as an engineer can get out there, I assume that's who this is right now, we'll finally see how the drain will unclog. All these various different services are choking under supplies that are waiting for other things, whether it's ore sitting outside the mines, finished products which will be sitting inside these processors. Well, so far there aren't any because I've been consuming them, but usually if there was any, they'd be sitting there. See, the tissue synthesizers have meat that's sitting in them. The storage dome will provide a place for all of those things to go. Whoops, you know what, before this is sealed, oh, I don't know that I can. I was thinking maybe I could bridge it across, but I guess not. I like to have as many connections as possible. All right, well, how about this connection? There we go. We can do that at least. Just to make it so that the colonists don't have to pad all over the place for everything, I try to have as many connections as possible. All right, right now our internal oxygen generation is pressurizing the storage dome, and as it reaches a safe level, we'll see that all the colonists will swing into action and start grabbing things that have piled up all over the colony and start dumping them in the storage dome in order to make room. And as you can see, here's a big parade of everyone who wasn't doing something else. Now they get to be on our little supply party. And so the storage dome will start to fill up. All right, so this is probably a good spot to end this here. So we've been working on the Dark Colony. Our goal is 300 colonists, and if we want to get the achievement, we have to reach that number before 70 days have elapsed. Unfortunately, we're already on day 18. We only have 40 colonists. So I'm trying to build up the colony so that we can rapidly expand and be able to accept lots more colonists. In fact, here comes another ship now. Let's see, are they friend or are they foe? So we're getting to the point where we'll finally be of interest to bad people. Oh, nope, these are workers. So we're doing pretty good. Let's see, what is our total? 25 workers, 9 biologists, 5 engineers, and 3 medics. We don't have any guards, and I'm actually not planning on allocating anything to the guards. Whoa! And the meteorites like to say hello. They're like, by the way, Joe's still here. You like that? How the colonists can just walk through them. Okay, meanwhile, my colonists are probably tired, overworked. Basically, like, why did I come to this planet? You know, the only entertainment is one TV screen. That's it. And all it shows is 24-hour news. I don't understand how the news makes people happy. I hate watching the news. It's all bad. At least around here, it seems that way. Okay, so here, let's see. Let's make sure to put the speed down. That way, when I reconnect to this, don't want to get surprised and have some terrible people come down and murder my colony. So we'll go ahead and we'll end this video here. Join me next time here on Joe's Super Fantabulous PC Gaming channel, where we will continue with the let's see, with the Dark Colony Challenge. One way or another, I'm trying to get it. So it was being asked earlier by Exodus Darkrobe. As you can see, this is the last achievement, the Express Dark Colony. So if I can complete it within 70 days, I have the final achievement, because this achievement is an achievement for having all the other achievements. So if I get this, I have them all. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get that next time. Let's see you then. If you're watching on Twitch, we'll be back in a few minutes with Red Dead Online. See you soon.